Hey everyone, Kyle once again, and welcome back to another movie review. And this time, since now we're in the year 2020 now it's time to review a film. I'll try to review much as I can for this year, because now marks the 2020 marks the 20th anniversary of films that came out in the year 2000, and hence 20 years later, 2020. So. Like I said, I didn't do much last year though, but I'll try to do much of anniversary reviews. I try to do for I can though, but do what I can. So, but here I'm here to review a film that I really do enjoy, and it is and since it came out in the year 2000, 20 years later. So, and it's a film that I really enjoy. It's one of my favorite Tom Hanks movies. I mean, Tom Hanks, he's been over the years, he's been a phenomenal actor. And many people really do enjoy Tom Hanks, and I do too. I enjoyed many of his movies, from the comedies he's done from back then to other dramatic performances. I mean, I love Saving Private Ryan. The comedies from Bachelor Party to Splash I reviewed. Even The Burbs. There's The Money Pit. Even more of the dramatic roles he's done. Like I said, I enjoy Saving Private Ryan. Then there's Captain Phillips. I haven't seen in some time though. Well, actually, not some time. I still have not seen Captain Phillips, though. I know we got some awards for nominations for that. Then there's Bridges. Spies. There was the one a couple years ago, The Post. Other films with Tom Hanks. Oh yeah, Apollo 13. I really enjoy. That's another great movie with him. I enjoy Apollo 13. But yeah, I enjoy many Tom Hanks movies. And this is one of my favorite ones, and people still like this film still. But at the same time, I don't recall nowadays people talking about it that much, and it was weird because this film was a big hit when it came out. It was like the third highest grossing film of the year 2000. So, and that is of Castaway. Now, Castaway, I'm sure people still remember this movie, but I don't think it doesn't get talked about nowadays. Considering that this film was a big hit back then. But I enjoy Castaway. I think it's another great Tom Hanks. It's a great Tom Hanks movie. Although I have to say this, even though back then the poster, which is showing his face. I mean, I would still say it is kind of lame because it just shows his face. I mean, him with a beard, but I just think I never cared for this poster. I still don't. Could come up with a better poster though, but I'm just saying. But Tom Hanks, he's great in this movie. I enjoy this. One of my favorite performances from his, and well directed by Robert Zemeckis. Now Robert Zemeckis, the guy who directed the Back to the Future movies. I love Who Framed Roger Rabbit. I forget other films he did. Well, I know he within the same year as this film, the year 2000, he directed that film with Harrison Ford and Michelle Pfeiffer. What Lies Beneath. There is a story behind this because back then when they were wanting to make this movie, with Tom Hanks. He put on some weight for this movie, and then eventually take some time off for him to lose the weight to make it seem like he's been stuck on the island for like it was 4 years to make him show that he lost that weight. So, and then at the same time, Robert Zemeckis, within that time of for this, he would go to direct release in the same year 2000, What Lies Beneath. So. But yeah, and that was also a hit too. That was like the 10th highest grossing film of the year 2000. So Robert Zemeckis had two big hits that came out in that year. So yeah, that film, and then he had this film, which was the much bigger hit though. But Robert Zemeckis did a great job with this movie. And Tom Hanks, once again, great. And I said for a great performance from Tom Hanks. Now the plot is everyone knows this film, but the plot is very simple. Tom Hanks plays a guy named Chuck Nolan. He's a guy who works at FedEx, and he has a relationship with his love of his life named Kelly, played by Helen Hunt. Now, of course, Helen Hunt, which I mostly remember. Well, I've seen her other films though, but I really enjoyed my favorite film was starring her because I grew up with the movie Twister. I love Twister, and that's the film I grew up watching the most, and that's what most of the film I remember for Helen Hunt. Watch, I know she would go starring with Mel Gibson. You know what women want, which is with a film when Mel Gibson hears women's thoughts. She also was starring in that as well. But I think that was also in the year 2000 as well. What women want, so. But they have a relationship with together, and then till when Tom Hanks gets on the plane, and then the plane crashes, and he's the only survivor on this plane, and also Helen Hunt doesn't appear like until the beginning and up until the end of the movie, so short screen time though, but. For the most part, she does a good job in this way, especially in the beginning, but also more towards the end as well. But she did a good job too. And throughout most of the movie, it's just Tom Hanks by himself through most of the movie. Yeah, so for the most part, he's strapped on this island by himself, all alone, and just him trying to survive. That's basically the gist of most of the movie is. And throughout this whole time, just him, trying to, way to survive, makes raft, what to eat, and at the same time, there are some lost FedEx packages that washes up, and of course, when he injures himself, of course, we introduce a character of itself, Wilson. The volleyball, makes when he cuts his hand, he makes a bloody handprint and makes a face out of it. So, try keep him, keep him sane by have someone to talk to, basically. But and for most of when he's on the island, I remember the majority of that, most of that when he's on the island, there's no music for what I remember, which is that was kind of a different take, I mean, you hear just the waves, the ocean, and on that though. So you don't hear pretty much no score really when he's on the island, except at the beginning, and then when he gets when he leaves the island on the raft. So, and but at the same time, the music was well done by Alan Silvestri, which Alan Silvestri he's done. Scores to a lot of movies. I know he did the scores to the Back to the Future movies. Also, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, and underrated score of his that I love, Volcano. He did the score to Volcano, Mouse Hunt, and of course the last two Avengers movie, Infinity. All the. No, actually, he did the first Avengers, and Danny Elfman did for Age of Ultron. But then Alan Silvestri go and do the scores for Infinity War, then Endgame. So, but the score here is for the most part when he's on the island, no score, but towards the end, it's when the score hits it, and it's really well done score by Alan Silvestri. So, yeah, it's when it shows up towards the end, then it's a really good score, and well directed by Robert Zemeckis. And which he also helped produce, also along with Tom Hanks as well, and the other two producers as well. And what we're gonna say is like how is basically him trying to survive the island with his talking with his little friend here, Wilson. And then when the time comes when he gets on the raft, and then when he loses Wilson, because which people could say it's stupid because he's getting upset because it's a volleyball. I'm sure people will say, oh, that is so stupid. He's upset over a volleyball. And you see him crying when he's on the right. He's like crying. He's like, "Oh, Wilson, I'm sorry," And I'm sorry. You beat me serious just stupid because he's crying over a volleyball. But you see that Wilson's a character of himself, and then you feel bad for Tom Hanks. For the most of this whole entire movie, you feel bad for Tom Hanks' character. It makes you put yourself in his place, and you feel bad too. So. Yeah, but this whole movie, you feel bad for him, especially when he loses his friend, Wilson, crying, like, oh, you feel bad for him, And then eventually when he gets rescued, and it's like 4 weeks later, he's brought back to civilization, and now you feel bad for his character, and you feel bad for her even more because by this time, because he's been trapped there for 4 years, during this time, Helen Hunt, the love of his life, Kelly, she is now moved on. She is now married and has a kid. And Tom Hanks meets with her husband, which I think he was a dentist. He mentioned that he gave him a root canal. So, and speaking with teeth, there was also a painful scene where he had something wrong with his tooth and he gets an ice skate. And that was a painful scene to watch, and it's just like, oh man, you feel bad for this guy. Because when you're on an island, how are you supposed to take care of a tooth problem? So, yeah, you feel bad for him. So, and then he goes over to her place, and eventually, Helen Hunt, she still loves him. She still loves him still, and so does he. And the part where she still has their car that they had together, and he was going to drive off, and then she goes after him to one point that she wanted to drive off with him, but in the mind, and she looks at him and he's like, you know what, you gotta go home because you can't walk away from your family now. So basically, it just tells her to go home. Well, he drives her back up the driveway, and then tells it to his friend that he lost her all over again. But the only thing he mentioned that he at one point when he was on the island, he tried to commit suicide by hanging, but that didn't work. And then he realized that he had to keep breathing. He had to keep breathing. And the sun is coming up. You don't know when the tide's coming in. This thing, so you just gotta keep breathing, and that's what kept him going. And even after that, after losing Kelly again, his love, he still had to keep breathing. And afterwards, he's now driving. How it ends? He's driving. He comes to this crossroads, and he delivers this one unopened package, this unopened FedEx box that has wings on it, which there was the only unopened package that he saved from the wreckage, and to drop it off, and no one was home though, but leaves a note. And when he drives back to the crossroads, he's looking at the map, and then this lady comes by, and gives him directions to where to go. And then when she drives away, the back of her truck has the wings on it. So he's there standing at the crossroads, and he's looking, and he's smiling. So, I mean, we can get the picture though. We can all get the picture though. So, yeah, this is how. Well, like I said, people say it bothered about the ending, but it never bothered me. I get what it was saying. So. But yeah, I didn't need to go too much into this because what I say about Castaways, the story is very simple enough. I mean, Tom Hanks does a top-notch job acting, which he was nominated for an Oscar for this as well. Well, this film was nominated for 2 Oscars for Best Sound and for Best Actor, Tom Hanks. And Tom Hanks, he did win the Golden Globe for Best Actor as well, so he was nominated for an Oscar, but he won the Golden Globe for Best Actor, which I would say deservedly because he did such a great job in this movie. It's one of my favorite performances from him. So yeah, I love Castaway. It's a great movie. Especially a great survival movie. You know, you especially feel bad for his character. You know, stranded all alone there, talking with his friend, the volleyball Wilson. Then he losing his friend, and then he finally gets back. The love of his life is now moved on with a family. That segment reminds me of The Dead Zone with Christopher Walken. You know, with the woman that he loved when he was all the time when he was in a coma. The love of his life has moved on. Also started a family of her own. So, which at the same time you feel bad for Christopher Walken's character in The Dead Zone. That kind of same aspect, same thing happening here when he finally gets back. The love of his life has also moved on with a family as well. Same thing with Christopher Walken in The Dead Zone. You feel bad for both these characters. So, but yeah, Tom Hanks, great job. Well directed by Robert Zemeckis. Holloway shows with the islands, and like for most of the movie when he's on the island, there's like no score music. I thought that was kind of different and in a good way. But when Alan Silvestri's score plays, it's a really well done score. Helen Hunt for a role ahead from the beginning. At the end, she does also a good job as well. And yeah. What more can I say about Robert Zemeckis? About Castaway. Although other than the poster, not that great still though, but still a great movie, great Tom Hanks film. And the film made a lot of money, like over $233 million domestically, and then worldwide close to $500 million, $493 to be exact. So yeah, this film was a huge hit when it came out. Its budget at $90 million, has an 88% Rotten Tomatoes. I think it's 7.8 on IMDb. And this came for such a big hit because it came out around Christmas time, I think it was. Yeah, there was December 22nd. I'm looking it up. But yeah. But I highly enjoy Castaway. If anyone has not seen this film, if anyone was a fan of Tom Hanks, I recommend you check out Castaway. Great movie. I definitely give it a thumbs up. Well, actually, no. I'll give it 2 thumbs up because that's how much I enjoyed this movie. So yeah, 20 years later, 20th anniversary, 20 years later, I still think it still to me it still holds up today. To me, it does. 20 years later, it's still a great movie. Yeah. I enjoyed Tom Hanks. Great actor, and he did such a great job in this movie. Yeah, to me, it's a film that still holds up 20 years later today. So that's my 20th anniversary review of Castaway. What more can I say? Still a great movie. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more movie reviews. Later.